It is the Red Bull Ring. Go qualifying to set the grid for live coverage. A pleasure to have you come to a frantic first half to this. Our left with a championship leader, but 26 points is what you change very, very quickly. Lots to talk. This lap on the calendar. Looking forward.
Shortest laps, one of the fastest. Lots of elevation. Very much looking forward to that this weekend. On a favoured move with the driver defending as well. So with those 3 DRS zones.
And for the only driver that can call himself a race winner. In the past, 5 of them have taken. Lots of support will be coming their way. Last time, Rafa Kamara just seems to be absolute now when you put wins, and I guess we can call it somewhat of a home race, but it's the best of rounds for him last time out. He had few points in the feature race, but this could be a big weekend.
A returning driver to the championship are to beat in qualifying. That's coming up later on. I expect the likes of Solov to be Stromstead, Tuffen and Ramos, because his form ever since we left, he's the top 15 drivers in the championship. He's the only and it's trending in the right direction. So I think he's going to be driver. That is Alessandro Giusti.
Yeah, Diego Ramos, Giusti himself, Teofil Nile, there the American, but damns Lucas Oil. He got more than 12 penalty points. An opportunity being presented for a driver, Nikita Johnson. What an opportunity for him.
Competes in the GB3 championship as well. But he's a very successful driver from America. F2023 and 24, Lucas Oil for this weekend. The first time he's raced team. He's also experienced in the next on circuit. Gets as much racing in driver, mature beyond his years. He's only set circuit for a mature driver. Definitely one to look.
Now part of the newly formed Aston, successful racing in Formula 3. He's put in some Spanish driver this season with 9. Mari Boyer. What an opportunity that Boyer, now part of their outfit.
Yeah, lots of supported academy driver, but yes, Mari, there may be a seat for him available in the future. That's Ferrari Junior, Solov, Red Bull Junior, and Giusti in 7th in the championship. He's a William 1, and it's inevitable. It's in FIA Formula 3 will be driver
sitting higher than 13th, but can miss backing from weeks. We've got Austria this weekend, Silverstone next weekend, at Barcelona. Santiago Ramos' second feature race podium. How hard is it as a team, as a driver, to keep
racing? The drivers that have got the momentum who have had a difficult couple of races, who have gone home, reset. It's also, there's no time really for the drivers to get some proper meaning, like 2 or 3 days to recover. Well, if you've only got a race weekend subpar.
Solov, the Red Bull Junior, that with him about turning into a great fight for this.
Leveraging his experience, one of the most experienced, and it's that experience that's helping him. This less experienced driver might have been pushing too hard, and just being able to consistently that every driver stay out of trouble, then often that means that you can lull. But Stromstead looks like he's fairly on it on this purple in Sector 1.
Yeah, we did see Roman Benend in the first race. That's for the Continental DNF. Nikita Johnson, I think, just needs to learn the Kadiva. But Noah Stromstead, very much up there. And this our first look at this very quick circuit.
Very, very high minimum speed through here. So the last sector, not really any overtaking opportunity. 4.3, that's about 3 seconds away. But Stromstead potentially just doing it. Now let's one there. You can see that the lack of grip that he had perfectly judged on our first flying lap, and you can see how much fastest for now. The only other drivers really just trying to get a feel for the car. And
we will have to watch around here is track limits last year, due to the track limits to, I guess, find a balance and then also know where you can get your banker lap.
Drivers out sort of halfway through this session. They're on that, and each run will only be 1 or 2 laps. But the exit of turn 1. And we might be getting an example exactly of that with strong lockup. So really pushing the limits of braking into the last sector when the tyres are going away on just the turns 9 and 10, the quick right hand on entry. You have to commit to the speed you're carrying kilometre an hour too much through the middle of the corner. It's a line in sport, if the ball's out into 3, then your lap time is not.
Huge elevation climb uphill. So a huge climb uphill, and then one of them when you come down to the likes of turn 4. If you run to turn 4, you're into the gravel.
Apex, and the gravel comes up very quickly. That is the second DRS zone towards the exit of the circuit. We can easily see momentum, you lose places, and then he was supposed to be in the remainder of the season. The week, and he said, "Yep, hands all good, ready to go."
He had a crash there, and a real shame as that opportunity. Your competitors go on, but now back.
Has worked hard for his racing career. He's maybe comparatively to some of the other drivers, and raced for 4 or 5 different teams in GB really well in the championship. in the really happy to be on the grid, and then unfortunately that, you know, he's ready to go. It's his and then hopefully he'll be looking to make it, especially in wet conditions over the years that I've
Up to speed this weekend, and he'll have, and he went very well here last, but it isn't going well at all. They currently sit 10th, and last place came into Imola with a very positive attitude, just really do going into this second half to the team.
Yeah, you mentioned they were very strong here last year. New car for this year, Brando Badoer, who's in the pits already.
Brando Badoer, and it is head in season, the McLaren Junior. Being in an unusual position, is it? I wonder if he's dropped a wheel coming through turn 7 and onto
that. You can see there was some tyre marks, a tyre mark through the gravel, which then headed left. A little groove in the gravel trap there. That's some speed through there on the exit of turn 8 to the car by the looks. We'll have it on the exit of turn 7. Unfortunate, it's not the end of it in qualifying later on today.
That is just a sign. A driver who finished on the podium here, going into turn 3, it looks like drive. There is the stricken car of multiple of these drivers, but and we will get his car retrieved. Everyone in this session for now, and we time in Nikita Johnson, Tuka Tapanen is next, but we only
not properly. I mean, they're the only, the 3 flying laps of Strong. It's about 120 off the top of my head, something like that. On the 22s, based on the track conditions this weekend, between this F3 practice and then F3 qualifying, away from Stromstead in his first run on the car, tyres are at their best, so he'll be happy with that. We're going to see.
DRS management is quite important, and tyres
can do, as he mentioned, he calling this if they were to see a Red Bull car come home, but all the now Noel Leon, oh dear, seems to be having extinguished that car.
Not an ideal situation for these.
Not at all. Very quickly, all the team on.
We were just discussing
to the circuit. 18 build a chance to get up to speed. What happened before? Currently see there with the engine cover off is yet to be seen. They are currently investigating on.
Is the priority. We want to go racing, but the team and everyone around will make sure that car is out. Everyone just building up their Pirelli tyres, getting this weekend. In qualifying.
Stop, no, it's GRG, it's the high-tech car. Exactly, it's gone off.
So that could be potentially such a steep incline there. The car starts rolling back, because we saw that a few years ago when away. Similar position here, you know, there's no
jump out of that car. It is so steep. It's the elevation.
Good man.
Well, there we go.
Either a warning on the dashboard cut out. Unfortunate for Gerard Shee, he's not had, not been ideal for Melbourne, and not been able to best that since in the marshals that he did leave it in gear.
Get the car retrieved, and have tried to leave the session back, but that's a very steep hill. Problem that we have here, and for Gerard Shee, to the issue that we had this session, sadly.
Yeah, you can see the water pipe or some sort of cooling pipe that's been
flagged, because that's it just goes from bad to worse for Prema, and like all the teams, a really difficult side the car. And the good thing is he's gone on there, but he has pushed that car to a safe place, and we'll get I've got to say, at least Race Direct quicker to get a vehicle out.
We should still get some running this session, because once they will call it to hoik that car off the one run for all of the remaining drivers. Will probably go out because he's new, but Stromstead might decide that that's be quite interesting. It's close to this session.
It's going to be GRG and the mag, and then we'll be back going. Rafa, can he be beaten, Piers?
Yeah, interesting, the front entry of the Halo. It was a Tapanen, Rafa Kamara, and also training in, because these cars are. There's also been some touched. And then third, it's a bit of camaraderie for a lot of these. It can be quite a lonely endeavour. It's you versus more enjoyable, and often I've found.
And just nailing that. Half the season to go is a long time.
Yeah, there'll probably be one, maybe two at all, or maybe we've only just rolled around a little bit. Other drive tyre allocation, the brand new ones, are at their absolute fastest, and every subsequent lap these drivers will just be getting a feel for how the track feels, qualifying later on to make some tweaks to a setup point and the angles they're at, and any other small can be.
Let's see that. We're not going to have out on circuit Noel Leon G stop down at turn 3. Noel took a spin coming through 10. He could do with getting a lap in, but we've only. Let's see what the lap times do so far. 8-point scores for him, of which drivers are looking quick going into qualifying.
Job at getting the car in the right setup. We head on board with Solov once again. We're heading into amber, long apex left-hander. We try and get towards there between 6 and 7. On the way, now the exhilarating 9 and 10. Downhill steeply towards 10. Drops away at the end. Solov goes fastest by a second at this stage, but I slide through turn 1. Sees him go over the road. That is Brad Benavides.
Brad Benavides has gone all running in this session. 14 drivers got over there.
Finishes under red flag, which I think is likely because by the time of that there should be no practice starts in. Therefore there was going to be an opportunity for all the drivers to again and do a practice start with this red flag to be seen. But if they don't, then because a lot of these drivers haven't had 15th place, Justi is the first turn number 4. Oh, that's the same lap that he then went off. Yeah. So he was deep gravel traffic on the exit turn 4. We discussed that earlier on and
we had some drivers doing lap time, like several of the drivers to get a full lap on the.
Let's put that in perspective for a lot of the viewers at home that may not like travelling somewhere and how the roundabouts go. You don't know where the lanes are. It's same sort of situation. A lot of these drivers will never have driven 2, maximum 3 flying laps. Doing a lot of research. Well, I have done a lot of research.
Yeah, I mean, drivers will know this track when they in this championship. This is it. The only thing is, drivers treat this practice.
Do you know what? I think we're going to see a bit of a jumbled up set of representative lap times. So they won't even be able to feed tinkering, I reckon, during the qualifying session later.
They have gone green in terms of engine, so we're firing, and I think this practice starts because it takes 1 minute and 14. The checkered flag is going to fly. Okay, here we coming out the field. And
you know, they won't really get a full flying lap here. They'll get a chance to have at least a practice start. All the drivers will be able to do the practice starts, which means starts are often the part of the weekend where
unique start as well, because when you're sat on the when you head up towards turn 1, you're looking at the start. That practice of a start, and is it as a driver just to get back in the rhythm of
in terms of dictating your results. Positions after the race start, and yes, of course, you can lose positions. We'll be making sure that they're absolutely drivers, that they know where the bite point is self. And don't forget, a lot of these drivers with clutches in a road car.
Some drive a flag, but others are going for some changes here on the final lap. Let's ride. We'll see some changes on this flying lap.
Yes, our apex curve beautifully there, running out wide towards the end of Sector 2, through turn 6 again. Beautiful Solov so far in the middle sector, all the way out 9. The Jochen Rindt curve. So the car looked like it was too well behaved for my last second. So that lap from Solov a few laps ago was clear away from the fastest lap time. So at the head of the field.
Yeah, some changes coming in. 7th, so some big improvements, but stay ahead of him and improving. Rafa Kamal flying lap. Noah Stromstead P3. Member 5th. Ugo start to the weekend. P6. Voisin 11th. Zagazeta 12th. This session back started to give off to take that, because not everyone did.
Gravel and AX cars have not deterred drivers from running wide there. But he third fastest in practice. We're now rolling up. If you get a good start in this practice, it really gives you a lot of confidence to learn from it, but it always gives a little, instruction from race director was that only lots and lots of rows of drivers going up towards turn 1. Really funnels down and gets very clear.
Then after it is all the battling going, and you've got to almost pick what happens.
I was, if I were racing this weekend, my 3, because turn 1 is the side. Bogdanovic, he lost it on his own, didn't he?
Yeah.
Just hit the curve, but he absolutely nailed.
Santiago, Portuguese driver, his after a load of practice. But to get that cleared so quickly, race direct.
There might be a few drips dropping off over the Austrian hills in the background. That could make things,
Don't
touch
say
from Mother Nature. Regardless of whether there is any inclement weather disorder.
It was our 2 championship leaders.
Yeah. Kamara at the front of the field, spin, and you can see the drivers just pulling in.
I had a lot of intervals, but in the end, timing though, but Paul Jr. fastest in practice. Ugachuku, Wharton, Intrabuvazak, Van Hoof, Callum Voisin 11th, then Matthias Zagazet and Louis Sharp, Teofil Nile, Noel Leon, who didn't end. The other Red Bull Junior, Tim Tramnitz. PC by the gaps who didn't get times in. Navidas off at turn 4, Brando Badoer would. That is all then. A pretty wide open qualifying session time for qualifying practice for F5.